working. Testing. I'm not entirely sure what I was going to start talking about. I'm trying to think of anything funny happened this week. Nope, nothing fun. There's a topic that's been on my mind for a long time now, and I thought now would be a good time to talk about it. The importance of doing, even if you don't know how. Overthinking something, evaluating yourself so far to the point that you're paralyzed to be able to make anything at all. And I think that's why a lot of people stop. There are two kinds of people in this world. People that eat at Denny's and people that don't. Basically, I think that you can set out to do something, and as soon as you start doing it, you're going to be hit with all this guilt of insecurity, and I don't know what I'm making, or I've never done this before, or I'm scared because once I hit that paper, it's decided, it's started, or whatever the creative endeavor might be. And I think that having the differentiation of digital work that's very forgiving and tangible fine art physical work that isn't is a really beautiful shift to practice, because it adds value to both parties. I try to make it a point to have my digital work at my desk, but do more fine art stuff to really get that part of my brain going. I'm going to use that as an example. This is going to be way longer than 4 minutes. I'll cut it. Cut it. Okay, so I have very little experience being a painter. That, like, defining myself as a painter or something like that would be kind of strange to me. But recently, I found a lot of joy in painting big canvases. So the other night, I just started drawing, planning to paint this one. Didn't know what was going to go on it. I didn't know what I wanted on there. So I just started drawing, and I probably spent 4 hours drawing the other night. And I think it's really important to make time for this kind of work, because I feel like oftentimes we neglect it and we do get too busy making work we have to make, and I think it's important to make work you don't have to make, because it gives you this new freedom and really feeds this part of yourself that sometimes work that's mandatory can't. So I started drawing, and I had this vision, this idea in my head of like a tight detail shot of a woman with her hands up, both arms up and at a bit of an angle. So I just started drawing, trying to get the perspective down, breaking apart features into different shapes. It took a lot, really trying to figure out and find the shape that I saw but couldn't translate, and it was so frustrating. Let's see, where is that? I even went as far as breaking it down mathematically to find rules that the abstract lines could live in, so that it made sense, so that I could mentally understand why people's eyes are going where they are, but to the viewer it feels abstract and it feels loose and it feels candid, but in reality it's really planned. And at the end of the day, I'm going to have something on a canvas, and it's really ultimately not going to matter, but it might, and that's cool. But I think that a lot of times we give ourselves so much to the product and not the process, and I think that process is really important, and I think that that's why you can't get hung up on your finished piece, your finished product being good or not. So I think it's really important to just try and make a ton of shit knowing it's gonna suck, and that's okay. So make a ton of shit so that you at least started somewhere, and I think that process is far more valuable to yourself internally, and maybe even to others that you're letting in on it, than the actual finished piece could ever be worth. I think it's important just to do something, because not a lot of people do, and if you never try, then you never will. And I think that is the biggest differentiator between people that you know or that you've heard of and people that you haven't heard of. It's the people that have taken the time to find that process and really dive into themselves that are able to create work that is distinctive enough to be one of a kind. So I myself am finding my own style and every single person has that unique style. And I think a lot of this sparked off of what Zach had mentioned in his first video. I'm really excited to see where this takes you guys and where it takes me. And I still haven't taken this painting to canvas yet, but when I do, I'll show you. So those have been my thoughts. Going to the Chance the Rapper show in a few weeks, possibly going to Kanye in like 2 weeks, which I would just die. So hopefully that happens. I love you guys a lot. Here is my favorite song this week. It's off the new Bon Iver record, and it is Killer. Okay, that's good. And let's stop it.
Down along the creek, I remember.
That's a beautiful hit on first two. And that's Sarah now out of the for the record. Maybe Sarah
from me.
Sing it, John.